What if everything you've been through, every heartbreak, every failure, every sleepless night, was never random? What if I told you that the pain you've carried for so long was not a burden, but a message, a call from something greater, something beyond what the eyes can see? Most people go through life thinking they are alone in their struggles, unaware that a force beyond their understanding has been guiding them all along. But only a few, only the chosen ones, ever wake up to this truth. There comes a moment in life when everything shifts. A strange coincidence that feels too perfect to be an accident. A dream that feels more real than reality. A whisper in your mind that isn't yours, yet it speaks the words you've been longing to hear. Have you ever felt like the universe was trying to tell you something? Like certain events kept repeating, as if pushing you toward a path you couldn't yet see. Some ignore the signs, dismissing them as nothing more than imagination. But those who listen, those who dare to follow the unknown, begin a journey unlike any other. A journey filled with struggles, doubts, and moments of darkness, but also one that leads to answers, to clarity, to a truth so powerful it changes everything. And here's the question you need to ask yourself. Have you been seeing the signs but not understanding them? Have you felt the pull toward something greater but feared what it might mean? Because if you're watching this right now, you are here not by chance. Something brought you here for a reason. Stay till the end, because what I'm about to reveal might just be the key to everything you've been searching for. Have you ever had a moment where everything felt connected? A dream that left you shaken, a repeated number you kept seeing, a conversation that seemed too perfectly timed to be coincidence? If you have, then know this. You are here not by chance. There's a reason why you're seeing these signs. The universe has been speaking to you. But have you been listening? Most people go through life blind to the messages all around them. They dismiss synchronicities as mere coincidences, intuition as just a feeling, and deep inner callings as wishful thinking. But what if I told you that these whispers, these signs, are actually guiding you toward something far greater? A truth that has been hidden from most, yet revealed to those who are ready. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who kept seeing the same number everywhere he went. Clocks, receipts, street signs. It followed him like a shadow. At first, he thought nothing of it. But then, strange things started happening. He began having vivid dreams of a place he had never been to, yet it felt more real than the world around him. People he barely knew started mentioning ideas and concepts that echoed in his soul, as if the universe itself was nudging him toward something. And then, one day, he met a stranger, a wise old man who looked at him as if he already knew him. And with a knowing smile he said, "You've been called. But have you answered?" You see, history is filled with people who received a calling, a moment when everything changed. The Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree. Moses before the burning bush. The prophets, the sages, the enlightened ones, they all had a moment when they realized they weren't just living life. They were being led. And if you've been experiencing signs, coincidences, or an unshakable feeling that there is more to this existence than meets the eye, then you might be standing at the edge of that moment yourself. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Not everyone who is called answers. The world is full of distractions. Every day, you're bombarded with noise, social media, endless responsibilities, expectations from society. These things keep you busy, keep you asleep. But deep down, you know there's something more. You feel it in your quiet moments. In the stillness of the night, when the world is silent, and your thoughts speak louder than ever. That's when you hear it. That pull, that whisper, that knowing. But the question remains, will you listen? Or will you, like so many before, brush it off as nothing? Because the truth is, the universe does not wait. Those who ignore the signs eventually stop seeing them. The voice that once guided them grows quiet. The path that was once open begins to fade. But those who listen, those who dare to follow the unknown, they are the ones who awaken. They are the ones who step into their true power. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal next will change the way you see everything. The signs have been there all along. The only question is, are you ready to understand them? Most people go through life asleep, trapped in a cycle of routine, unaware that something greater is calling them. They ignore the signs, dismiss the strange coincidences, and silence that little voice inside that whispers, "There's more. You were meant for something bigger." But here's where the story takes a turn. There was a man, let's call him Daniel. Daniel was just like everyone else. He woke up, went to work, scrolled through his phone, and fell asleep, only to do it all over again the next day. He had dreams once, but over time, the weight of life crushed them. He told himself that signs and synchronicities were just in his head. He ignored the repeating numbers, brushed off the strange dreams, and laughed at the idea that the universe was speaking to him, until something happened. One night, Daniel had a dream so vivid, so intense, that he woke up gasping for air. In the dream, he was standing in an endless desert, lost and alone. Then, out of nowhere, a figure appeared, a shadowy presence that felt both terrifying and familiar. It spoke a single sentence: "Wake up before it's too late." The next morning, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling. He tried to ignore it, tried to go about his day as usual. But then the signs started to intensify. The same number everywhere he looked. Strangers saying things that felt oddly specific to his thoughts. An old book falling off a shelf in a bookstore, one that contained a passage that sent chills down his spine. Still, he refused to believe it. Until the accident. One evening, as he was crossing the street, lost in thought, a car came speeding toward him. In that split second, time seemed to slow. Everything around him blurred. And then, out of nowhere, he felt a force yank him back just before the impact. But when he turned around to see who had pulled him, there was no one there. That was the moment he finally understood. He was being guided. Now, maybe you're thinking, that's just one story. But what if I told you that this isn't rare? That countless people throughout history have experienced something similar? Prophets, mystics, even ordinary people who suddenly found themselves at a crossroads, where they could no longer ignore the signs. Think about this. How many times have you felt like something was nudging you? A gut feeling that told you to go left instead of right. A strange encounter that led you to an unexpected opportunity. A dream so powerful that it lingered in your mind for days. These aren't just random moments. They are breadcrumbs leading you somewhere. But here's the catch. Not everyone follows them. Some people ignore the call until it fades. They let doubt take over. They convince themselves it's all in their head. And so, the signs stop. The guidance disappears. The door that was once open closes. But those who listen, those who dare to follow the unknown, they are the ones who step into a reality most can't even comprehend. They start to see the patterns, the messages hidden in plain sight. They awaken to a world that has been speaking to them all along. And here's where things get even stranger. Science is beginning to catch up with what ancient wisdom has always known. Studies on synchronicity, intuition, and even quantum physics suggest that our thoughts, our awareness, and our choices shape the reality around us. That the universe isn't just happening to us. We are co-creators of our path. So, the real question is, are you paying attention? Because if you're here, if you're still watching this, it means something. Maybe you've been feeling it for a while. The restlessness, the sense that something is shifting, the pull towards something greater. This isn't a coincidence. Stay with me, because in the next part, we're going deeper. I'm going to reveal something that will change the way you see everything. The signs have been there all along. The only question is, are you ready to follow them? Let me tell you something that will change the way you see your entire life. You are here, right now, not by chance. Every single thing that has happened to you, every struggle, every heartbreak, every moment of doubt, it was never random. It was all part of a grand divine plan, designed to lead you exactly where you need to be. Think about your hardest moments, the pain you've endured, the nights you lay awake, questioning everything, the times you felt like giving up. They weren't meant to destroy you. They were meant to wake you up. But here's where it gets deeper. The universe, God, destiny, whatever name you choose, has been speaking to you your entire life. You've felt it, haven't you? The strange coincidences, the gut feelings you couldn't explain, the moments where everything seemed to align. Those weren't accidents. They were messages, signs meant to guide you, push you, challenge you, to awaken something inside you. But here's the truth most people miss. Not everyone listens. Some ignore the signs. Some dismiss the gut feelings. Some let fear drown out the whispers of their soul. And that's why most people stay stuck, repeating the same cycles, making the same mistakes, living lives that don't feel like their own. But you are different. You wouldn't be here right now, hearing this message, if you weren't meant to wake up. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like life was testing you? Like every time you tried to move forward, another obstacle appeared? Like no matter how much you tried, things just wouldn't fall into place? What if I told you, it was never about the obstacles. It was about the lessons. Every single struggle was shaping you, preparing you, strengthening you for what's coming next. Because here's the biggest truth most people never realize. Every pain, every setback, every moment of doubt was never a punishment. It was redirection. That person who broke your heart, that dream that didn't come true, that job you lost, that opportunity that slipped away, none of it was an accident. The universe knew what it was doing. Because what if that relationship had worked out, and you ended up with someone who was never meant for you? What if you had gotten that job, and it kept you from stepping into something even greater? What if everything you thought was a loss was actually a blessing in disguise? Do you see it now? The doors that closed weren't failures. They were protection. Because here's the secret. Your path has already been written. Every detour, every delay, every rejection, it was all pushing you towards something greater. And the moment you truly accept this, when you stop fighting the plan and start trusting it, everything changes. Fear disappears. Doubt fades. And suddenly, life starts to make sense. Because you realize, you were never lost. You were just being guided. But here's the catch. Most people will never see this truth. They'll hear this message, feel something stir deep inside them, and then they'll go back to their old ways, ignoring the signs, doubting their own power, staying stuck in fear. But you are not most people. You wouldn't be here right now if you weren't meant to wake up. This moment, it's not random. This message, it's not an accident. This is the universe, God, destiny, calling you to listen. So the question is, will you keep repeating the same patterns, convincing yourself that life is just chaos? Or will you open your eyes and see the truth? That you were never alone. That you were never forgotten. that you have always been guided. And the moment you step into this truth, everything in your life will shift. Because you'll stop fearing the unknown. You'll stop resisting the path meant for you. You'll start trusting, fully, deeply, unshakably. And when you do, the signs will become clearer. The right people will enter your life. The doors that were once locked will open. Because when you finally say, "I trust," the universe responds with, "I was waiting for you to see." And that's the moment your entire life changes. This isn't just another video. This is a moment of awakening. The only question left is, are you ready? Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever felt like the universe was trying to tell you something? Tell me in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Take a deep breath. Let everything you just heard settle in. This moment, right here, right now, is not a coincidence. You were meant to hear this. You were meant to wake up. You were meant to remember who you are. Because deep down, you already know. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every moment of pain, it wasn't random. It wasn't meaningless. It wasn't some cruel twist of fate. It was preparation, a journey, a calling, a test to see if you were ready to step into the life that was always meant for you. And now, you have a choice. You can ignore this message, go back to your routine, and pretend like nothing ever happened. Or you can listen. You can truly listen to the signs, to your intuition, to the voice inside you that has been whispering all along. Because once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. And here's the truth that most people miss. You are powerful beyond belief. You've been conditioned to doubt yourself, to silence your inner knowing, to live a life that doesn't belong to you. But that ends today. Because now you see it, don't you? You see how everything was leading you here. You see how the universe has been speaking to you all along. You see that you were never lost. You were just being guided. And now, it's time to take the next step. Because knowing this truth isn't enough. You have to act on it. So I ask you, what will you do with this moment? Will you brush it off, convincing yourself it was just another video? Or will you let it change you? Will you start listening? Will you start trusting? Will you start stepping into the life that has always been waiting for you? Because here's something you need to hear, loud and clear. You are not here by chance. The universe doesn't make mistakes. You were meant for something greater. And everything that has ever happened to you was leading you to this exact moment. So now, you have two choices. Ignore this. Stay the same. Keep living life on autopilot. Or wake up. Take control. Step into the power that has always been inside you. The choice is yours. But if you're ready to step into something bigger, to finally listen to the messages the universe has been sending you, then let me know. Drop a comment below. Tell me if this spoke to you. Tell me if you've ever felt this way. Tell me if you're ready to start listening. Because your story, it matters. And someone out there needs to hear it just as much as you needed to hear this. So if this resonated with you, hit the like button, so more people can see this. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Follow for more eye-opening truths. Because this is just the beginning. The journey is unfolding. The signs are everywhere. Are you ready to listen?